After the three-member Ayodhya mediation panel submitted their status report, the Supreme Court will take up the case today. The court will study the outcome of the mediation proceedings conducted by a panel set up to amicably resolve the Ram Janmabhoomi Babri Masjid land dispute in Ayodhya. The five-judge bench will then determine whether to hear the case on day-to-day basis or continue with the mediation. Remember, this is the second mediation report by the special committee headed by former Supreme Court Judge F.M.I. Khalifullah and also includes spiritual leader Sri Ravi Shankar and advocate Sri Ram Panchu. The first report was submitted on July 18th. Going across to my colleague Anisha Mathur for more on this story. Anisha, today would be a very important day as far as this case is concerned. The Supreme Court has already received the mediation panel's report in a sealed cover. Now, at what time is the court going to take cognizance of this, and what is expected to take place in the court today?
Well, Ankit, the hearing in this particular case is scheduled for 2 p.m. this afternoon, and the court is going to take a look at what the mediation panel has said in its report. Remember, for the last several weeks, the mediation panel has held multiple meetings with all stakeholders, but as from what we hear from our sources, the mediation has not gone as well as the Supreme Court had hoped. There was a hope that some sort of common ground could be found, but so far from what we're hearing from our sources, people have drawn their lines in the sand. All sides are sticking to their stands, and it may not have been very easy for the mediation panel to come up with any sort of solution. I also have with me Advocate Vishnu Shankar Jain, who's the counsel for the Hindu Mahasabha. Sir, the mediation has been going on for such a long time. Today, what are we hoping for from the court hearing?
See, today, as per the last order of the Supreme Court directed the mediation panel to submit its final report and apprise the court as to what's the progress of the mediation and what's the final outcome of the mediation. And today, after perusal of the mediation committee's report, I think Supreme Court will take a call whether they have to go further with the matter, with the hearing of the matter on day-to-day basis.
So that is there, but what has been the stand of your client? What has been the stand of the Hindu Mahasabha?
See, the stand of Hindu Mahasabha has been very categorical that in this matter, mediation cannot resolve the dispute. Whatever has been done by Babar in the past cannot be, we want justice from the Supreme Court, we want the justice from the Constitution bench of the Supreme Court, and that has to be overturned by today's Constitutional Court, and that's why this matter cannot be resolved by mediation, has been our stand constantly.
So, Ankit, as you can see, the mediation has been going on, but we'll have to see what the mediation panel finally tells the Supreme Court. With this kind of uncompromising stands being taken by all sides, has the mediation actually succeeded, or will the court again ask for certain further mediation? That's the big question that will be answered at 2 o'clock. Ankit.
Thank you, Anisha, for joining us with all those details. Meanwhile, weeks after big defeat at the international